Hi there, my name is Kay, and today I'm going to tell you about somebody really cool. Someone so necessary and important to the culture of not only music, but art in general. This creator's creations have inspired generations of artists to this day, and I am proud to call them a highly respected inspiration to me as well. This somebody is the George Clinton, a revolutionary for psychedelic funk. To me, I feel as though it's important to highlight pioneers and innovators of popular culture, especially in the Black community. So George, these flowers are for you. Born in Kannapolis, North Carolina in 1941, he became interested in the doo-wop genre, inspired by Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. As a teenager himself in 1955, he would rehearse with the other four-fifths of the quintet, the Parliaments, in the back room of a Plainfield, New Jersey barbershop where George also happened to cut and straighten hair. From here, he would take frequent trips to and from New Jersey to Detroit, Michigan in the 60s, where he would apply his skills as a songwriter, singer, and producer. At this time, the group ran into some issues with the label Revelot. From this point, he created a new group where he would use a lot of the same musicians from Parliament, and thus, Funkadelic was born. Jumping through hoops with various labels such as Revelot, Atlantic, and Invictus Records, the name Parliament took a temporary hiatus. However, some of the original band members remained. This is when things get real funky, no pun intended. During the 70s, with a collective of dozens of musicians, Parliament and Funkadelic mesh, creating the Extraterrestrial Brotherhood, blending psychedelic rock, soul, and funk as a whimsical free-for-all. Sci-fi and acid culture were a great inspiration to the group, as you could probably tell from their eccentric costumes, stage presence, and theatrical nature. I mean, the dude calls himself a star child and emerged from a spaceship on stage during his shows. Like, does that not scream acid to you? Funkadelic's Maggot Brain is, in my opinion, one of the greatest albums of all time. The title track features a surreal introductory monologue, followed by a hefty 9-minute freestyled guitar solo by Eddie Hazel. Which, fun fact, by the way, the song was done in one take after George told Eddie to imagine that he had just been told that his mother died. So if it feels and sounds heavy to you, it's probably because it is. Specifically, in between the years 1978 and 1979 is when they had their most success. Parliament's first #1 single, Flashlight, had hit the streets and became an instant classic. This song was so popular that fans would bring actual heavy-duty flashlights to the show, lighting up the venues. This then prompted certain security concerns, of course, but due to the combined popularity of the song and the rise of Star Wars, they began selling lightsabers as merch to flash during the performance at shows, which I think is pretty cool. The title track of the Funkadelic album, One Nation Under a Groove, released on September 22nd, 1978, which just so happens to be my -20th birthday, and it charted for nearly 2 months in the summer of 1979. Around this time, both this album and Parliament's Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome both went platinum. That's 2 for 2. I think it's safe to say that there was a whole lot of rhythm going down in the 1970s for both the individual and collective efforts of Parliament and Funkadelic. They tore the mother out with the Mothership Connection, which included the iconic single, Give Up the Funk. We want the funk, give up the funk. Ow. Atomic Dog, Bow Wow Wow, Yippee Yo Yippee Yay on George's first solo album, Computer Games. Profound lyrics such as, why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat? He just had that dog in him, for real. I can go on and on about the hits because there's just so many. If we fast forward a little bit, we can observe how George and his funk freaky bands inspired hip-hop, rap, soul, and R&B decades after their prime. So much as ranking second in 2013's most sampled artist lists. Notable names such as Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Dr. Dre, Kool and the Gang, Flying Lotus, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar have sampled his creativity and featured the legend himself on their tracks. Even movies such as Good Burger, Girl Never Misses a Beat, House Party,
I'm good, man. Don't leave the brother alone. Sucker, you want a little pot in your head? Lighten up. Yeah, I did it. I cried 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it.
fucking Trolls 2.
Denying our differences is denying the truth of who we are.
Feature his cameos and likeness. There was even a special on HBO named in relation to Funkadelic's 1973 album Cosmic Slop, which he hosted himself. And that's just like a completely separate video in its own. Oh, and He was on The Masked Singer. He just did and does everything. How could you not admire that? All in all, Clinton contributed endless amounts of fuel and inspiration on many artistic mediums across the board. I love that he wanted to do literally any and everything, even to this day. He reminds me of myself in a lot of ways, which is why I feel so deeply inspired and motivated to follow in his footsteps as an artist and innovator. From winning the NAACP Image Award alongside Aretha Franklin in 1997, to the Rhythm and Blues Foundation Pioneer Award in 2003, to finally being awarded a Hollywood Walk of Fame star this year, 2024. This man has granted us nothing but absolute outstanding magnificence to the culture with his artistry. A living legend, a pioneer, breaking boundaries and talking his shit, literally. Like he talks about shit a lot. I owe him nothing but immense gratitude by highlighting just a fraction of his accomplishments with this video. So if you're watching this, George, thank you for everything. Your work is so incredibly important to not only me, but every other black alternative weirdo there is. With all that being said, and in the words of a wise man,
Free your mind!
Your ass will follow. The kingdom of heaven is within.